Welcome to your video orientation of the 284 BHS J-Flight SLX by Jayco. We're going to start your tour on the outside of the trailer, and we're going to start at the front. First thing we come to in the front of your trailer is your stabilization jack. You have 4 of these at either corner of the trailer. It's important to note that you should not level your trailer with these jacks. They should be used to stabilize once the trailer is fully level. And right up beside there we have your pass-through front compartment. It also offers access to the underbed storage. Here you'll find a number of things, one of which will be your manual crank for your front tongue jack and the manual crank for the stabilization jacks I mentioned earlier. Continue around the front and we'll see battery storage with battery box and your 12-volt leads. And right in front of here you will see we have your double 30-pound propane storage. This is also equipped with a crossover regulator. What the crossover regulator does, right now you'll see the handle is pointed to this tank here. This tank here will be drawn from first, and once this tank drops below a certain pressure, it will automatically cross over and draw from this tank. So no more going outside on those cold nights, worrying about switching bottles if you have your furnace running. Right in front of here we have your power tongue jack, complete with light and your manual up and down. The light is handy if you're loading at night. And on the very top we have the rubber port that can be removed, and you can use the manual crank found in the front storage compartment there. Also on the front we have your breakaway switch. This end is attached to the tow vehicle, and in the event that your tow vehicle is separated from the trailer, it will pull on this pin, removing the pin, thus engaging the trailer brakes. Also, it's worth noting if you go to pull, if you just hooked up and you go to pull and the brakes are engaged, that it could be possible that this pin is either all the way out or possibly partially out. Sometimes it can get pulled out during your hookup or your hitch up. Continue around to the other side of your front pass-through storage compartment. And we'll continue along the outside. Next thing we'll come to is your outdoor shower. And right above that we have your black tank flush. So what you do is you hook your garden hose up to here, turn it on. It can be used to flush out your black tank. Right below this we have your city water connection. Your city water connection is where you basically attach the garden hose from the campground to your house, and that will supply and pressurize the system with water. So right underneath here you'll see the output for your black water tank and your gray water tanks, as well as the valves to operate them both. Continue along until we come to the input for your cable or satellite TV for the trailer. Have access to your 30 amp power cord or power supply. as well as housing for an optional rear view camera. It's all pre-wired. And also in the back, we have the outside access to your hot water tank. Of importance here, pressure relief valve, and the drain plug. If you're ever removing the drain plug, always remember to open your pressure relief valve. Also on the back, we have ladder access to the roof. So we come around the corner, you'll notice the outdoor kitchen with outdoor fridge, as well as outdoor barbecue. To light, you turn to the light position and light each burner individually with your barbecue lighter. This system hooks up directly to the propane system of the trailer via quick connect here and a propane port here. Right now this valve is in the off position, and that would be the on position. But you'd hook the other end of the quick connect up here and you're ready to go. Now as we come out to your awning again, almost back where we started, you'll notice at either end of the awning, in the head, there is a speaker. Those speakers can be operated from the inside of the trailer via the stereo system. Also underneath your awning, we have the venting for your refrigerator. It's important that this remains free of any obstruction in order for your refrigerator to operate properly. Also underneath the awning you have exhaust for your furnace. Now it does say that it is hot. I just like to make special note of it, especially when it's under the awning, as it does get fairly warm. Next up we have your potable water or freshwater tank inlet. Basically feed your garden hose in through there. You will fill your freshwater tank. Now, these are equipped with an overflow, so if you forget about it, you go in the house and you're filling it up, it will overflow underneath here, right here, as opposed to filling up your trailer with water. The last thing we'll show you underneath your awning, your GFCI power supply, the output for your cable or satellite TV, and a mount for your TV. That about does it for the outside. We'll go inside and continue the tour. First thing, once we get inside, we'll note your fire extinguisher. And next to that, we have your propane carbon monoxide detector. You'll notice the green light is on right now. That means the system is good to go. Every 6 months or so, it's a good idea to press this button on the front and test it out. You'll hear a bunch of loud beeps, and then it'll eventually go back to being green. Usually I would recommend you test them every 6 months when you test the batteries on your smoke detector. And the general rule of thumb there is do it daylight savings time. It just makes it easy to remember and ensure that all of your safety equipment is functioning properly and tested as it should be. Alright, from there we'll step up, take a look at your information center here. Here we'll have indicator lights for your battery capacity, your fresh, black, and gray water tanks, as well as switches for your water pump, your water heater, on gas and your water heater on electric. You'll also find switches to operate your slide and your awning. Okay, turn around in here and we'll notice the bedroom. Of note in here is the mounting hardware, cable access, and 120 volt power for a TV in the bedroom if you wish. And also of note, we have this unit wired for solar. So right here we have connection points for the inside portion of the solar plant of the solar charging. And you can see here that there's basically, you'd cut this out and everything should be inside the wall to install the head charging unit. Right below here we'll drop down and see your emergency exit. In order to operate this, you want to press down on the black tab, push the red handle over, then push the red handle all the way out as the trailer. It might be a little stuck depending on how often you've opened your window. Push it all the way out, pull on this red tab to remove the screen, and then you can escape to safety. Now, also from the bedroom, we have access to your front pass-through storage and the underbed storage. Continue into the main living area. Come to your microwave, your range. So your range is pretty simple to light. Turn the desired burner to the light position, and then turn the sparking knob. You do the same thing for all three. And the oven is also lit via the sparker. The only difference, once it's in the light position, you press and hold the knob at the same time as you run the sparker. Now it may take a couple tries to light the oven. Sometimes they can take a little bit, especially if you've just turned on the bottles or just turned on the gas. Sometimes it'll take a little bit to build up enough pressure. Next to this, we have your refrigerator. It'll run on gas or electric. If running on gas, if there is an issue or it didn't light properly, this light will flash. Usually when it does that, it's either because you didn't turn on the bottles at the front, you didn't open the valves of the propane bottles, or you just opened them and there just is, same as the oven, there isn't enough pressure built up in the system. So same as I would do with the oven, I would turn it off, give it a minute to kind of clear out any extra gas, and then attempt to light it again. We're going to continue on to the stereo here. This comes with Bluetooth connectivity, DVD capability, as well as a USB charging, auxiliary connection, and HDMI port. Now, previously I had mentioned that you could listen to your music or whatever sound you wanted to from this stereo outside under the awning, and we do that by using Zone 2 on the stereo. You're able to listen to both zones together or either one by itself. Take a look at your bunking system. Pretty standard. Underneath this one, you'll have an access panel. Bear with me as I lift it up here. And inside this access panel, there's a little box at the back here. Bear with me if I'm a little shaky or noisy, but through that access panel you can see the back portion of the hot water tank, and straight in front of me there you can see one of the two valves that are used to bypass the hot water tank. It is currently in the bypass position. When it is water flows into the tank, the valve handle will actually point in line with the piping heading into the tank. So there is a bypass valve on the top and the bottom of the water heater for the hot and cold. So when you're winterizing the unit, you want to have it in bypass, as there's no need to fill up your tank with antifreeze. It'd just be a waste of antifreeze. So next we'll come to your thermostat. This controls your AC and your furnace. It's a capacitive touch button, meaning it isn't mechanical. You don't have to press it hard in order for it to work. So just a nice light tap turns it on, and then you keep tapping to cycle through your different options. You have your fan, cool, and furnace. One thing I will note is your fan has 3 settings. It has an auto, high, and low. It's important to make sure it is not in the high setting. With the fan set to high, when you turn on your furnace, the fan will also run on the reefer. It doesn't blow cold air, but it is very loud. So when running the furnace, you'll probably want to have it on auto. But while we're here, we'll talk about the AC a little bit. When you have it set to AC, with these baffles closed, it will force the air to these ports located throughout the trailer. If you'd rather have, if you're cooking or you just want more cold air right here, because this is where you are and hanging out, you can always open these baffles and the majority of the cold air will just fall right here. Next, we'll take a look at your power center. This is where you'll find breakers, much like you'd see in your house, and they operate pretty much the same. And right next to there, you'll have the fuses like you might see in your vehicle. If one of these is burnt out, there is a red light that will light up and show you that there is a connection not being made. So, in here, turn on your light. We have an access panel. If you remove this one Red Robertson screw, behind here we have your water pump. There is a valve on the water pump like there is on the hot water tank, and that valve is to change the pump from a winterization mode or a dry camping mode, basically. With the valve turned towards the clear fill tube that is behind that panel, you would basically put that into your jug of antifreeze, run the pump, and it would bring antifreeze through the system and pressurize the system. Take a quick look at your bathroom, my mistake. And in here, it's important to note the unit's GFCI. If it's tripped, you'll see that red light on. And when it's tripped, you may have improper functioning of other receptacles, namely the outside plug and the counter plug for sure. So if you don't have power there, I come in and give this a check, and then go check your power center, the breakers and that. But if the red light is on, you just press that top black button in to reset it. That is your video orientation for this trailer. If there's anything that I forgot, oh, there is something I forgot actually. Let me just come over here and show you. Up under here behind the TV we have this antenna booster. There's a little button right here that it turns on and off to boost the signal for the antenna. And that's great, although it messes up your cable or satellite connection. So if you're connected to cable or satellite and you're having problems with your picture, come behind the TV here, look for where the cable goes in, and try pressing that little button and turning off the booster. All right. Now, I believe that concludes our video orientation. Hopefully you found it informative. And again, if I missed anything else, feel free to give us a call and we'd be happy to give you all the information we can. Thank you.